Merci Stéphane.
Thank you. A few words. We are a few thousand kilometers away from Kourou, but we would really say that we fully enjoyed this great moment. It was for me the first launch as CEO of Eutelsat, so it was, as you can imagine, a very intense moment. A great success, a new success, another success for Arianespace, a success, of course, for Eutelsat. It's our 31st launch made by Ariane. We are the first customer of Ariane. We're very happy to be their first top customer. We've been rewarded. It's the most reliable launcher in this world. It's a very important launch for us. This satellite called Eutelsat 65 West A, because it's in a new position. It's also a symbol of the globalization of the company that was developed by Michel de Rosen over the past few years, and this new mission will help us cover the Brazilian market, a very important, a new market. We hope and expect a lot from that new market. I would also like to thank our customers who have trusted us, UBS in particular in Brazil, our first local customer, and we will also cover different countries in Central America, Latin America, as I said, Brazil, of course, Colombia and Peru. In Peru, we have Star Group, a very important customer. We would like to thank them for their loyalty. Now, before I give the floor to Michel de Rosen, I would like to thank Arianespace for its performance tonight. We're very happy to be with you in this great European adventure. We would also like to thank SSL Loral, who's built for us this important satellite. And last but not least, I will thank the Eutelsat teams in Kourou, the technical team, Eutelsat. Once again, they have done a great job. And to conclude, I'd like to say thank you, gracias and obrigado.
Je m'appelle Michel de Rosen, je suis
My name
président
is
du
Michel
conseil
de
d'Eutelsat
Rosen,
et je
and I'm
serai
the chairman of the board of Eutelsat, and I would like to say three things. First of all, thank you to Arianespace, Stéphane Israël, Jacques Breton, Louis Laurent, and all the Arianespace teams who worked round the clock to ensure the success of that launch. And secondly, I would like to specifically thank Stéphane Israël. We do not forget that Stéphane was appointed to Arianespace in a famous evening paper. He was said to be parachuted, as we say, and there were some doubts in the little Parisian village as to the reason behind his appointment, but I was always very impressed by his availability for our customers round the clock, and he's been able to carry on after his illustrious predecessor a long series of Arianespace launches. So congratulations, Stéphane. I know people were sort of waiting to see what you were going to do. And I would also like to turn to Monsieur Thierry Mandon. It is essential, sir, that the calendar should be abided by, be followed. Ariane's competitors wish to see it lag behind, and the it would really be a shame for reasons of budget economies to delay the project. If we delay the project, we put it at risk. So it is important that the date 2020 should be maintained for the first launch of Ariane 6. Thank you very much to all of you. Now I turn the floor to Kourou.
Good evening. I cannot do in French. Congratulations, Michel, Rodolphe Bombert, and Patricia. We're very happy to start the process of delivering a wonderful satellite to support your business. It's always been a pleasure to work with the Eutelsat team. Very competent, very demanding, but very rewarding at the very end. I'd like to thank in particular Stéphane and your team, Stéphane, for taking good care of our baby. And this is number 53 satellites from SSL that you have launched with Ariane 4 and Ariane 5. And I've been attending many of those launches, and I've always been impressed with how your team make it so easy. But we all know that it is not. So congratulations, job well done. Thank you very much.
Bien, Monsieur le Ministre, Mesdames et Messieurs, après avoir eu l'honneur de vous accueillir ici.
Minister, ladies and gentlemen, after having had the honor to welcome you at the Space Center, it is a pleasure for me to express myself after this perfect launch, and to being able to say that it is the 71st consecutive successful launch. It's really a great satisfaction for me. Thank you, Sir, Monsieur Mandon, for being with us tonight, for your interest in our activities. You flew over the space base yesterday, and you have experienced the best it can produce. And as we said, this results from decades of continuous investment. And I would like to say a few words on how, on what success means for Guyana. Now, the success tonight lets us expect as good a year as in 2015. This is the result of the work of CSG. I would like to thank ESA for its support. I would like to pay tribute to all the efforts made on the field by the teams, and I'd like to thank Patrick Loire, who during a few years was the head of the Arianespace Kourou establishment, who's going to go back to mainland France, and he was remarkable in this position, and I had the honor to appoint him at the time, and his successes demonstrate that it was a good idea. Please give him a round of applause. And I would also like to thank Eutelsat, who's one of the oldest and most faithful customers of Arianespace. I would like to thank Eutelsat for having trusted us to launch that satellite. Michel de Rosen was appointed Satellite Executive of the Year, and I'm very pleased about that because I had received the same award 10 years ago, and it is in good hands with Michel. Congratulations, Michel, for that award you have received. And I must say also that in French Guyana, CNES invests, and that is why we have convinced all our European partners to break new ground with Ariane 6. And today we are building this launch pad, and the work site is developing very nicely, and it will be ready in time as the predecessors were. And CNES is a developer. CSG is probably one of the main assets for the European space program, and that is why the action we are undertaking in Guyana has to be fruitful for the whole of French Guyana, and that is why we make sure that all enterprises in Guyana benefit from that, and the young people having jobs. And I would like to thank the region of Guyana and the French state for their staunch support. But Mr. Winters is going to speak first.
Dear Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, another wonderful launch of Ariane 5. A wonderful launch, a successful launch, and this is now number 71 in a row. And it's good to celebrate. And it's certainly good to celebrate this in the presence of one of the most loyal customers of Arianespace, Eutelsat. So my congratulations first go to the customer, Eutelsat. Arianespace has made it possible, with some support of his partners, to start this year with single launches, with flights with only one payload. And the main driver to do that was to enable a timely slot for the customers. Not an easy step, but it was important, and we are really happy that it works out so fine. Thank you, Arianespace, for another successful flight. We are on track for a very special year, a record number of Ariane 5 launches. Well done, bravo. Thank you, industry, for a wonderful product, an excellent product. Lots of energy is put in the future these days in preparing our future launch system, Ariane 6, but Ariane 5 will serve us for quite some years to come, and it deserves our attention, your support, and your attention. Thank you, CNES, for your continuous support here in CSG and in Europe, on this beautiful basis here in CSG. And thank you, my ESA colleagues, for the work that you have done to support this flight. Dear Minister, I hope this success will give you even a little bit more energy for all the discussions that are waiting for you in the rest of this year. I thank you for your attention.
Monsieur le Préfet, Mesdames, Messieurs les...
Prefect, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of local authorities, Mr. President of the Regional Council, dear members of the European Space Family, and ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. Now, we had a wonderful sky tonight, a clear sky, and we have witnessed that wonderful takeoff, and it looks absolutely obvious, natural. 71 successful flights, nearly routine, and that routine, after all, helps us know a little more about mythology. What happened to Ariane after Thésée and Ariane separated? What happened to Ariane? There are several theses about that. Now, one is probably right. Ariane was called by Zeus and became immortal. And she married Dionysius and had many offsprings. So Ariane has become immortal. That's my wish, but I know that it is not a mere coincidence. It is the result of an extraordinary mobilization of stakeholders, men and women with an extraordinary level of skills, mobilization of private and public stakeholders of countries committing themselves, of the European Union, and all that makes that success possible. I would like to thank, first of all, the customer Eutelsat and its chairman, Michel de Rozaine, for its repeated trust, 31 launches, satellites launched by Ariane, and I would like to thank as well all the engineers at CSG and anyone at CSG, anyone working at CSG, whatever level they work at, the most distinguished engineers and scientists, and also
sans
the
lesquels cette
people
chaîne
who have
fonctionne.
basic jobs involved with logistics and without whom that chain would not work. And I would like
Washington,
to
Jean-Yves
ask
Le Gall,
you, Stéphane Israel in
Charmeau,
Washington, Jean-Yves, and to
Gaël
you,
Moussa,
Jean-Yves Le Gall,
remercier l'ensemble des
to
acteurs
you, Alain Charmont. I would like you
résultats
to thank on my behalf all the stakeholders of that sector. I have two things to say:
Qualité française,
excellency,
Comment la-
quality, French
l'Europe
quality,
est
European
leader
quality.
français dans le domaine
How can we
lanceurs ou dans le domaine
make sure
des
it
satellites.
continues? Europe is the undisputed
Galileo,
leader in the
les
world of
constellations, nous faisons la
satellites.
course en tête
Galileo,
dans l'ensemble de
Copernicus,
l'industrie.
constellations.
Nous avons
We are ahead
présenté
of
il y a
the
peu de temps
race
avec Jean-Yves
in
Le
the
Gall,
spacecraft
la COP
industry.
21, deux futurs satellites,
With Jean-Yves Le
Merlin
Gall,
et Microcard,
we were
au-delà de l'avance
proud to
extraordinaire
present at
technologique,
COP21
seront
two
service
future
des
satellites,
et
Merlin and
cette
Microcarb,
avance technologique
which are beyond their
est
extraordinary
pas durable sans
technological advance,
investissement
will serve the
massif
inhabitants of the
en
planet.
recherche de
And
la puissance publique. Les
that
États
cannot happen without massive investment
de l'Europe elle-même
into
peuvent
research from the
compter
part of
seule capacité de garder
the
cette
public
capacité, c'est d'investir.
stakeholders.
recherche au moment où
The only way
l'univers
to
du
keep this
spatial
capacity
est bouleversé
is
par
to
des
invest into
technologiques
research
sur le
when the
marché
world of
sans
space
précédent.
is
Donc, le second quota, second
going
point sur
through
lequel c'est le
a
partenariat.
time of a
Partenariat, ce n'est
change.
pas un mot
And I would
valide,
like to
dit comme ça,
insist
parce que
on
ça vient
a second notion, that of partnership.
de tous
It
les
is not
instants.
just a buzzword.
Discipline qui se
It is a
joue
discipline,
entre
a discipline of any time,
entre États et qui se joue aussi entre
involving
États et
industrialists and
industriels et qui se
states,
joue au niveau de l'Union européenne.
and a relationship
Nous sommes heureux
between
que
industrialists and
la
states at the
élaborer
level of the
une politique européenne de
European
l'espace,
Union.
de
We are
le
happy
cadre
to see that the European Union will be able, before the end of the year, to develop, to outline a European space policy. This partnership is also built with ESA. ESA engineers are with us tonight, and they're the warrants of the quality of our organization. And this partnership is built here in French Guiana, but also in research laboratories in Sweden, in the Netherlands, in Switzerland, in Belgium, Italy, Germany, France. And that is really the strength of the European space project. It is deeply rooted in our territory, and I think that Jean-Yves Le Gall was right in recalling all the efforts which are made here in French Guiana so that the territory can benefit from that. Now, we shouldn't sleep on our laurels, but that's not the case. Well, Luxembourg, let's come back to Luxembourg. No worries about the date. We will be on time. Industrialists have committed to that. France has committed to that. And I was visiting yesterday the future Ariane 6 launchpad. We will be on time. And I would like to reiterate my trust in Airbus and Safran for that adventure. To join us in that JV to make Ariane 6 as a reliable launcher as Ariane 5, but with half the cost. It decreased by 50%, a decrease of that cost by 50% within the span of 4 years. If we were in America, it would be sold in an extraordinary way, as Americans know how, they know how to do it, I have faith in you, men and women, who, after all, for a pleasure that makes you feel like a child when you look up to the sky and you see that fireball flying towards the space. It is so poetic. It's very romantic, but at the same time, it calls for the strength of technology, know-how, private investment that has made that possible. I trust in your success, our success. The European space policy has a bright future ahead of itself. And a few hours ago, we were celebrating the only day of the year, a day that is unique in the year. I'm thinking of the lady behind me, and thank you for all your efforts.
Bien, chers amis.
So, dear friends, dear colleagues, dear Minister, I would like to conclude this long evening and say two things. Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Patrick Loire. Patrick was in charge of our center in Guyana. He always been very talented, full of diplomacy. He's always been able to work with CNES, CSG, all our partners in Guyana in a great way. He will now be in charge of business development for Arianespace, and Gérard, who was also with us this evening, will follow his Patrick. So the next mission will take place on the 22nd of April 2016. The satellite actually arrived today in the French center in Guyana. It's part of the Copernicus program Sentinel-1B, dedicated to the environment. It will be a mission on a Soyuz launcher. It will put in orbit the microscope project, the CNES project, and one for the Norwegian Space Agency. So a great institutional mission for Europe, for CNES, and for Norway. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and see you soon.
And we look forward to that launch. I'll be with you for that one. So it's mission accomplished once again for Arianespace and for Ariane 5, and the second launch this year from the Guiana Space Center. Congratulations to all Arianespace's customers and Eutelsat Communications, also to the manufacturing teams led by Space Systems Loral. Eutelsat 65 West A is now heading out on its journey to its final orbit. And the best of luck to all the teams with the next phase of your operations. Thank you so much for joining us here live at the Guiana Space Center. And from me, Katie Haswell, goodbye.